This is the first plane ever to fly without a pilot. No one is steering the wheel or working the controls, but it continues flying and even lands on a runway, all by itself. Here's how the plane does it. This plane is owned by X-Wing, a startup company that plans to revolutionize air travel by getting rid of all pilots. And this is their first major milestone, a fully autonomous Cessna 208B Caravan plane, flying on its own without the assistance of a pilot. In fact, it doesn't need a pilot. It can taxi through the airport, take off, fly to a targeted destination, even avoid airborne and ground threats, and even land with no human input whatsoever. But the neat part is that the plane itself isn't autonomous. It's a regular Cessna plane any pilot can fly manually. But how does it fly on its own? The secret is hidden in the plane's control system, which is downloaded with Superpilot, an AI software made by the company. But the software alone can't do a thing. The plane needs to be equipped with multiple sensors, including cameras, radars, LiDAR, and other sensor fusion algorithms that allow the plane to read the surroundings and fly on its own. This system is called Detect and Avoid, a plane's tool to make safer routes and avoid dangers on its own. The combination of high-tech software and hardware made the impossible, the first autonomous plane with no pilots controlling it. This technology has come a long way to get any recognition. Its debut is dated back in February of 2021, the day X-Wing conducted its first fully autonomous gate-to-gate operation with an adapted Cessna plane. The aircraft taxied from the gate to the runway, took off, flew miles of a dedicated route, and subsequently landed and taxied back to the gate, all by itself. All interaction with air traffic controllers was conducted by the ground-based pilot, who monitored the flight, and the pilot on board, who served as a backup in case of emergency. This was the first major step in pilotless planes, and the company is building great plans for the future. But the company started flying back in 2020, expanding its fleet to 35 planes, operating out of 58 airports, and now flying up to hundreds of flights per day, delivering goods from one city to another. And these flights have another purpose. They are helping the company collect data at scale across all geographies and weather environments and train machine learning algorithms to learn and adapt to various flight conditions. The company also trains and improves navigation and control software that generate optimal flight paths, interface with ATC, monitor the condition of the aircraft system, and deal with operational contingencies. Still, this innovation meets its own kinds of challenges it needs to overcome. According to the rules of the Federal Aviation Administration, every aircraft should have a pilot to steer the wheel, meaning the company can't operate planes for cargo deliveries fully automated, so they always need a pilot in the cockpit to follow the rules. As time goes on, the company improves the software of the plane to meet the FAA standards and get the most important approval from them, a certificate allowing them to do uncrewed aircraft cargo deliveries. This will be another breakthrough in using the full potential of their system. But truth be told, they are designing a superpilot system to meet the FAA's safety requirement for passenger aircraft, the most stringent safety rules of aviation. Eventually, X-Wing hopes that their system will also be used for commercial passenger flights on larger airlines. But there are two strong obstacles that won't allow it to happen any sooner: FAA's strict requirement and passenger acceptance of pilotless airplanes. So they're doing their best to improve the system for autonomous cargo deliveries, which is more feasible in the near future. But the most unique part of Superpilot remains the ability to be vehicle agnostic. It could be applied to any type of airplane. Many manufacturers could potentially incorporate X-Wing Superpilot to make their own operations safer and more efficient. But be honest with us, would you fly on a plane without a pilot?